Welcome to the latest edition of TravelMole TV, our exclusive online video service for the international travel industry. We're in Spain once again for the 2006 ABTA Convention. Today's broadcast is brought to you in association with UTravel, fast and reliable resort services for leisure travellers in the Mediterranean and other major destinations worldwide. And by Ocean Villages, the cruise for people who don't do cruises.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Skidmore and welcome to our extended coverage of the ABTA Convention here on TravelMole TV. Now, one of the key issues was sustainable tourism and, not surprisingly, it was one of the main talking points here in Marbella.
TravelMole TV is providing 4 video reports from last week's convention. If you missed our earlier broadcasts, you can find them archived here on the travelmole.com website. In today's report, we'll be talking to industry leaders about the continuing green debate. But first, a quick look at one of the new services provided at the ABTA Convention, the Talk Zone.
Hello, I'm fearis from travelmole.com. One of the innovations of the ABTA Convention is a Talk Zone, where travel agents get to meet tour operators face to face. We're here to ask them how they think the convention is going so far.
I think it's a good idea. I've been to one before at another conference and it seems to work very well. It's a good way of meeting people, renewing old acquaintances and making new ones.
I understand this is the first time that you've attended the Talk Zone. Why did you decide to take part this year?
Yeah, well, Harvey World Travel are a fairly new sort of business into the UK. Predominantly we're in Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. So our presence obviously at ABTA was very important to us this year.
I think it's a pretty good environment to meet people. The pre-booking of the appointments has really helped, so you can organise your day around what you need. Possibly could have had a bit more leeway to make the appointments a little bit longer, because it seems you're just really doing pre-meetings to arrange everything back in the UK.
And how's it gone so far this afternoon? Have you met the right people? And
yeah, we've met lots of people during the afternoon. It's been successful, yeah.
So you're a tour operator here at the Talk Zone this afternoon. What benefit does it give to you?
I think as a business for Gold Medal it's extremely beneficial, giving us the opportunity to meet with travel agents and do business with customers that are existing customers of Gold Medal and work with customers that are potential new customers for us.
Well, the ABTA Convention continues to provide talking points across a range of industry topics, and one of the keynote speakers last week was Easy Group founder Sir Stelios Hadjianu. We'll be hearing from him in our report tomorrow. But now we concentrate on the growing trend towards sustainable travel. Last month saw the industry mark the World Responsible Tourism Day, and it was a hot topic once again in Marbella.
With me is John Bevan, the travel director of lastminute.com. We're at the ABTA Convention. John, what relevance is ABTA to a company like yours?
Well, the relevance of ABTA is difficult as far as the actual membership to ABTA. It's something we're reviewing all the time at the moment. But the ABTA conference is very relevant for us. It's a good meeting point. Many of our customers as an online travel agent are here, tour operators, small and large. I think there's the sessions on carbon neutral, the whole environmental issue is very relevant.
Now, you're making steps to make a difference as far as the environment is concerned. Tell us what you're doing.
Well, we've just launched this week the opt-in for carbon offsetting your flights on our flight engine. Very pleased to say it's early days. It went live end of last week, and so far we've had 10% of people actually opt to offset their flight. So that goes to several very good causes who are offsetting carbon emissions around the world. So it's something we're very passionate about, and something that we're going to follow through, and hopefully many of the lastminute.com customers will actually offset their flights.
Now, you're a very well-known brand, so you have millions of people, millions of holidaymakers who know about lastminute.com, and several of them booking through you. Do they really care about the environment, do you think?
Well, it's a good question, Jeremy. I think they do, and I think that seeing as 10% of the people are already offsetting their flights, when I think British Airways didn't even manage 1% on their system, admittedly wasn't part of the booking path, clearly shows that people do care. And I think as long as the message is driven home out there via the press, the media and the governments, and we have worked with the government on our launch of our carbon neutral offsetting schemes, people will become more aware and therefore will more readily offset their flights.
With me is Debbie Hindle, the Managing Director of BGB, one of the biggest public relations companies in the travel industry. They're also an advisor to the Travel Foundation, and at this year's ABTA Convention, sustainable tourism is a big issue. Now, Debbie, are agents and operators doing enough in this area?
We can all do more, but I've been really impressed with the change in the industry in the last year. It's really exciting to see so much being done and so many more companies getting involved with carbon offset schemes, training schemes, and really putting sustainability right into the heart of their businesses.
Are there any practical examples of what companies have been doing?
Well, My Travel this week is announcing that it's also fundraising now for the Travel Foundation. And once somebody goes into a travel agent and makes a booking, makes a small donation to the Travel Foundation, that money goes into projects all over the world that then can be replicated so that things can get better in the destinations that travellers are going to. And also, there's this week they're launching a new carbon guide. The Travel Foundation has a new carbon guide to help everybody reduce their carbon impact, whether you're a one-man band person or a small company like my own, that you can actually look at reducing your own carbon.
So those are some of the things that companies are doing. As individual travellers, is there anything much that we can do?
There's a huge list of things you can do, and there's a really useful set of guides on the Travel Foundation website called Insider Guides about what you can think about before you travel. And it's not just the obvious things, but it's things about what to look out for if you're concerned about sex tourism in an overseas destination. So really hard-hitting, practical ideas to help you travel more sustainably.
Now, of course, some people say we shouldn't be travelling at all, which is a theory that wouldn't go down too well here at the ABTA Travel Convention. But is there any argument, do you think, for us flying less?
There's a big debate about whether you should fly less, and you can look at the way that you travel, either taking fewer trips or longer trips, and I think that's the big debate which I think Lonely Planet and other founders are saying now: travel, but travel for longer, stay for longer, put more money into local people's pockets, and it's a debate that has to continue.
The other thing, of course, that people are saying is that we're doing too little too late. All these small worthy actions aren't going to have a great impact on the damage to the planet.
Well, the Stern report was really frightening a couple of weeks ago, but it really showed that if we made substantial action now, there is still an opportunity to make a difference to the world. But we've all got to pull together and take it seriously and not take any no for an answer. We've got to do something now.
And as you say, it's a big issue here. Do you think everybody is now taking it seriously?
No, because I think it will take a lot for people to really recognise the full impact of what's happening. The fact that travel now may damage countries many years hence is a very hard thing to think in the long term. But I think the change that I've seen just in the last year alone, when I've been talking about sustainable travel for 10 years, the last year I feel that we've reached a tipping point in awareness which will escalate, but there's a lot more to happen and a lot more to go.
Debbie Hindle, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
With me is Derek Jones, a sales director of Thomson. One of the key issues at the ABTA Convention is sustainable tourism. Now, Thomson are the biggest travel company in the UK. So, Derek, what are you doing to try and protect the environment?
Well, the first point worth making, Jeremy, is probably that in terms of overall impact on the environment, neither ourselves nor the travel industry are the biggest culprits. I mean, I think there's been lots of debate at the ABTA Convention about 30% of the damage is caused by travelling cars, 40% by power stations, and these are the real culprits when it comes to carbon emissions. But we do accept that we play our part, albeit 2, 3, 4% of carbon emissions coming from air travel, and we recognise that we need to take accountability and responsibility for that. Our view at Thomson has been very much which we've been working internally to educate our own staff, and we do believe that going forward our staff are going to have to be the ambassadors in this respect, and they do need to help to educate the customer in terms of what the customer themselves can do in order to offset the environmental impact of their travel.
Okay, can you give us a couple of examples of the things that you as a company are doing?
Well, we recently had 2 green days, one in Luton, one in Coventry, where we invited all of our staff to come down, have a try on some environmentally friendly hybrid cars. We had electric bikes that they could go and have a go at. We had Boeing in to give them demonstrations on how much more efficient the airlines are now than they were 4 or 5 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. We did that in Luton, we did it in Coventry. We've had communication with our retail staff. We've got a training programme that's due to go out early in the new year to help to educate them in terms of what they can do in terms of their conversations with customers. So there's a huge amount of activity going on. We're also working very closely with our hotel partners now. We've recently introduced the Thomson Green Awards. Everyone's familiar with the Thomson Gold Awards. The Green Awards now recognise hoteliers' contribution in terms of minimising the local impact that they have on the environment. The first of those was awarded less than a month ago. We're giving them equal weight to the Service Awards, and we think that that sends a strong signal to our supplier base that we now take the environment very seriously.
Okay, what about offsetting some of the carbon emissions from your aircraft?
I think offsetting is it's a very difficult subject, and it's actually fraught with controversy in some respects. I mean, a lot of carbon offset businesses actually aren't taking direct action to offset the carbon emission, and in many ways cash isn't the answer, and simply taking more money off the customer is not going to offset the amount of carbon that's emitted as a result of their flight. So we believe that the best way to take this forward with our customers is by this through education, by talking to them openly and honestly about what footprint or carbon footprint they leave as a result of their travel, and then encouraging them to take different actions in their lifestyle. They're actually going to make a direct impact. So for example, I think it's fairly well known, if you turn all your electric goods off standby every night for a year, you're probably going to pay for 1,000 miles worth of air travel in respect to the carbon emissions. There are things you can do. You take the bus into work 2 days a week instead of taking your car into work 7 days a week, then again that's going to help to offset. And
is that what the Thomson directors will be doing?
Well, I think in some respect we already are. Because of the education process, I mean, certainly from a personal point of view, I'm now much more aware of the impact that I can have. In fact, I've just changed all my light bulbs to energy efficient light bulbs, because even doing that in your house would offset over the course of a year 2 or 3 short haul flights, certainly 2 or 3 flights to any of the costas in Spain. So I think there are things you can do, and the critical difference is that by taking that activity and taking personal responsibility, you are actually neutralising the carbon impact of your travel. Everything else, as valuable as it might be going forward, actually doesn't change the fact that when you get on that plane you will increase the amount of carbon that goes into the atmosphere.
Well, that's correct, and I mean, some people are saying that tour operators like yourself are just merely jumping on the bandwagon because it's fashionable, and really you're doing more damage than many other companies.
Well, I go back to my original point. We're not doing more damage than other companies. As a tour operator, using a traditional tour operator model, actually we're quite efficient in terms of the model that we operate. We've got a relatively modern fleet of planes. We fill them to probably the highest load factor of any of the models, much better than schedule, better even than the low-cost airlines. So actually, relatively as a player in this industry, we're by no means the biggest culprit in this respect. And actually, I think with the measures that we're bringing in, we are taking definitive steps to try and reduce the impact that we have.
Okay, just moving on to another topic. There's a lot of confusion surrounding financial protection, and that was debated at the ABTA Convention. Thomson's taken the decision to sell many more non-ATOL bonded holidays in future, perhaps dynamic packages. How's that going? Are you on course to sell as many as you'd like?
Yes, indeed we are. I mean, we do believe that this is not necessarily an ATOL issue. This is a customer-led issue. I mean, we're responding to the fact that customers want to pick and choose, they pick and mix. They want to take certain flights, they want to change their durations, they want to pick their hotel, they want to do twin centres and tailor-make their itinerary. In response to that, we'll make that available to them. What you'll see going forward are significant developments on our website that make that much more transparent and much easier for the customer to do. We'll take that technology onto the high street, so it'll be easier for the shops to do that as well. And a byproduct of that is the fact that fewer of our holidays will fit the old definition of a package.
And talking of package holidays, we know that First Choice are in talks to offload their mainstream tour operation. There's been an awful lot of holidays on the market this year. It's made it difficult for everyone. You must be delighted that it looks as though there'll be greater consolidation in the market.
I think we couldn't say that it's not helpful that there might be less capacity in the market going forward. Having said that, I think we're comfortable with the volume of, if you like, traditional holidays that we have in the marketplace. We still think there's a place for that. We still think there's a very buoyant market for it. Lots of people still know exactly which property they want. We have access to that stock. We can differentiate it. We have gold hotels, platinum hotels. People are prepared to continue to book in that market with an established player like Thomson.
And finally, your holiday report has come out. People look to you for guidance on where's going to be the next big thing, because you are the biggest tour operator. Where are we going to be going on holiday next year?
The destination we're tipping for next year is Cape Verde, a cluster of islands off the west coast of Africa. We're flying to an island called Sal. Fantastic beaches, 7 miles of uninterrupted beaches, great weather, a great new destination.
Thank you for watching today's exclusive video coverage from TravelMole.com in association with our broadcast partners, Travel and from Ocean Village Cruises. And tomorrow we report on the cruise industry as the Passenger Shipping Association reports good news all round.